Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. And by the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission advocates on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're in MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. And now I'd like to introduce you to the Executive Director of the Rockwood Preparatory Academy, John Nelson. Thanks for being here, John.
Hi, Monica. It's nice to be here with you.
It's a pleasure. So we talked a little bit about Rockwood Preparatory Academy and Rockwood Commons last summer when I saw you at Rock the Block event.
Right.
And you've been here to MetroEast before.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Rockwood Preparatory Academy. I don't know a lot about it. I know where it is. I've been there on the campus. But why this charter school? Why another charter school? Because there are charter schools. Why this one? What makes it special?
That's a great question. Well, as you may recall, I've been in the community for quite some time.
Yes.
I raised my family in Rockwood. When I chose to buy a home in Rockwood, I served on the Reynolds School District for school board for 10 years. Started other charter schools and was in kind of a semi-retirement stage about 3 years ago when I got a phone call that there was one of the charter schools was having some challenges, and I had a unique relationship with the district and with the charter school community, so I was kind of like in this interesting position.
You knew the landscape.
I knew the landscape on both sides, and I wasn't seen as somebody who was going to be, real stilted. I was a fair hand. So I came to this school, and I found this wonderful little charter school working in a furniture store.
The charter school was in a furniture store?
Was in a furniture store, 400 kids in a furniture store, no playground, no lunchroom, happy as clams.
Really? Oh, wow.
But having a real difficult time getting by financially.
Right.
And so I went in and helped straighten some things out for them, and then pretty quickly I found out that the Portland Lutheran School, which had a huge 15-acre campus dead in the heart of Rockwood, had gone out of business because they were not able to keep their enrollment up. And so we were in a furniture store.
Let me think, where could we be that might work better?
So I very quickly made arrangements to have the school move over into this huge facility, which is a journey in itself. It's worth noting that the first building there was built in 1926. It's called Rockwood School.
I heard that. I talked to somebody who, either their dad or somebody had taught there.
Then it became Rockwood Middle School.
Okay.
They had a great big capital improvement bond pass in 1940. Okay,
I don't remember that.
Been updated.
Yeah. A while ago.
Reynolds got hold of it, and it was Rockwood Middle School until the early 1980s. Then when they went to changing the high school configuration, they closed that school down. A couple years later, it was picked up by Portland Lutherans, the Lutherans operated it as a private K through 12 school for decades. So as a result, when I lived in this community for decades.
Yeah.
My kids have lived in it. We didn't have any idea that this 15-acre plot of land was even there.
Is that right? That's so funny, because when I went there for Rock the Block last summer, I was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
What is this?
Who knew?
Yeah, because it's just really off the
So I'm going to work my way from the macro there down to the micro. So they had this school. It was called Nova Learning. It was really challenged. So one of the first things we did when we came in last year, I came in as executive director, was we started the process of changing the branding and the name. Rockwood is not what people think it is. That's the message that I want to give, because it's true. If you were to watch the news or read the newspaper, you'd think that this was, just horribly rancorous.
Yes, and I'm very aware of that.
Racial issues around everywhere. Well, I have an incredibly diverse school with an incredibly diverse staff, and we have zero problems in these areas with the parents, with the community. The diversity truly is a joy as far as I'm concerned.
It's a blessing,
and I know
it's
that there are
something to
people who are
celebrate.
uncomfortable with that. I know that there are people who are uncomfortable with that, but I'm not one of them.
Yeah,
and so what we did is we said, well, we only need a certain portion of this space here for the school. What are we going to do with the rest of it?
So what do you do with the rest of it?
Well, we said, well, let's open it up to the community and have everything from community theater to social services to churches, Feed the Poor programs, 12-step programs, dental and medical clinics, free dental and medical, just everything. And all of a sudden, people started coming.
Wow.
And it started growing, and it's been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience.
So that's the Rockwood Commons.
That's the Commons, and that's the whole
so there's the
space there.
school, which takes up a portion of the property.
Right, and then there's Latino Network, which takes up a portion of the property.
That's where Latino Network is.
We have a great program,
and
great
I
partnership.
love them. They're wonderful.
And then As Is Church is on our campus, and they have a huge outreach in our community. We also have a Hispanic-speaking church that meets on Sundays at our campus, and the Gresham Little Theater, like I said. And there's just all kinds of people.
Yeah, and see, these are things I didn't know. I didn't realize all those were located there.
And twice a month we have professional wrestling at my school on Saturday nights, and it's just so much fun. I mean, these are perfectly, grown men doing incredibly stupid things to each other, all for the sake of a laugh.
I have friends from high school who were Portland wrestlers. They were professional wrestlers, and I live in an area where there's a place that has professional wrestling around the corner from me. It's a blast.
Oh, it's so fun.
It's a blast.
It's just
it's just fun.
If you come in with zero expectations, you're just bound to have a good time. So then we work our way down to the school. Okay. So that's one of the things I want to talk with you about, the Rockwood Preparatory Academy. It was called Nova Learning. We changed the name because, one, we want to own Rockwood.
Yeah.
This school was Rockwood School in 1928. I'd like for it to be Rockwood School when it reaches its centennial.
That would be great.
That would be awesome. It's something that we don't have in the Rockwood community. That kind of generational connectedness.
Right.
At our school, we actually have a group of, they're old. They come in with their, their walkers and air tanks every year.
Yeah.
They come in and they have a little reunion.
With the alumni?
And they're crazy. They're so nice and sweet.
Yeah.
But that's something we don't have in Rockwood.
Yeah.
And we don't really have that connectedness to the past.
I like the pride in Rockwood. I think that's a wonderful thing.
And then it's a preparatory academy. When I worked in the community colleges for years, and in Portland Community College, there was upwards to 80% of students coming to the college with high school diplomas from area high schools were having to be remediated for a year or more in math, reading, or writing before they could take.
Before they could get in.
Before they could take 121 writing and those kinds of things. And if you go to them and ask why that is, they say that's because the kids are coming out of the high schools without basic skills. And if you go to the high schools and you say, why is that? They said because the kids are coming out of the middle school without basic skills. And it's true. And it sounds like they're passing the buck, but in reality, if our public school system, we need to be able to teach kids to read and do math by the time they get out of elementary school, or else they're really at a disadvantage.
Yeah, well, you lose them early and then they're lost.
So that's why Rockwood Preparatory Academy, that's why I've focused my time in, that's why I'm trying to prove a point, and this is a point that is going to sound really rough, and that's that poverty and racial background are not the determining factors on whether or not somebody's successful in public schools. And I'm sorry to say that for most of my career, our public schools have gotten a pass when dealing with children of color and children of poverty.
There I
go.
What you're saying is
again.
that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse. It's an imperative.
Yeah, and granted, I think, well, I would think you might agree with me, but I'm not sure. If there's a family that's a poverty-stricken family, that if they don't have lights on in the house or they don't have a place to study, those things can affect your ability to succeed.
For sure.
But that you can get past that.
You have to. You see, what I'm saying is that we can solve our nation's education problem if we kind of adjust our head a little bit. It's not because children have rough lives that we have trouble with schools. It's because children have unequal backgrounds that we have schools.
Say that again.
Okay, so Jefferson had this idea of public education having two purposes. One, to create an enlightened electorate, so that we could vote.
Right.
We didn't have to have kings and queens and all that stuff.
Right, so we can make some decisions ourselves.
Right. But the second thing was he wanted to have a great equalizer, so that the son of the mercantile or the son of the educated person had the same opportunities as the son of the plowshares.
Okay.
All right, so it's because people come to our schools and into our society with less that we have public schools.
Okay, I got you.
And so
now.
it's not
Thank
an
you.
excuse for not doing well. It's an imperative of why we must. And so far, in the first year that I've been there, I got very lucky. I would be remiss if I didn't say I got very lucky and came into a very wonderful principal who is the young lady is probably the youngest principal in the United States right now.
Really? How young are we talking?
26 years old.
Oh, wow. Good for her.
She comes to us from Johns Hopkins University and is just is the sunshine of my day and does a phenomenal job. But in our first year, we had remarkable results, and I'm very, very excited to just to say that there is a great public school in the Rockwood community serving those kids.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
You brought some pictures, and I think we should take a look at those now because
where can I
give
see
us
what we're looking at?
They're going to be
Okay.
right there.
All right,
They'll be
great.
right there. So let's take a look, and
All right.
you can tell us what we're seeing here.
If I can see.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's the old school. That's the original building, the original profile that was built in the 1920s.
And do you use that front door? Is that
That is the front door that the kids come into our school every day.
It looks like a very classic school there.
It is.
Yes.
It's a very cool thing. This is a very typical picture in our school. Our kids do wear uniforms.
They do, huh?
One of the things
that's an equalizer too.
It isn't. I got to tell you, we have high expectations of our kids, and they meet them.
That to me is the most important thing.
It's just so true.
It is.
This was a trip to OMSI. We do a lot of those kinds of things. We're a public school, and so we don't have a religious basis or really even that we work from at all. But I do like the idea of agape an awful lot. I do like the idea of kids treating each other with generosity of spirit.
Yeah.
That's maybe not always deserved.
Yes. Forgiveness and
we're
kindness.
blessed. We have 2 stages.
Wow.
And the Gresham Small Theater is at our school. I believe
Gresham Little Theater,
I can't tell what quite we're looking at here.
It's a production of some kind.
It looks like a production of some sort.
It looks fun.
But we have we're really blessed to have 2 full stages, and the Gresham Small Theater is there, and the kids are doing. This is coming in February.
Donkey basketball?
Donkey basketball to go along with the pro wrestling and the circus and those things.
That's hilarious.
We work really hard, Monica. We work really hard. We push our teachers. We push our kids.
Yeah.
They get like 15 minutes to eat their lunch. I mean,
Wow.
We push very hard, all for the right reasons. But then we play really hard, and that's me doing something I learned how to do back in the 70s. Playing guitar, I like to do that whenever I can with the kids. They don't know Froggy went a courting, but
they don't know that one. It's
great fun. It's great fun to play with the kids.
Oh, look at them.
One of the things we all constantly catching kids doing is doing the right things and rewarding them.
Ah, that's good.
However, unlike kind of like what I grew up with in my schooling, we don't give kids awards for participation.
No ribbons for just showing
those
up.
kids, every kid up there did something that they actually had to do. They had to face a challenge, and they had to do it, and now they're getting rewarded for it. And it just makes all the difference in the demeanor of the school, the student body, the relationship that the adults would have with the kids. It's just, we're really blessed.
Yeah, it sounds great. And what you said about the high expectations, to me, that's what I noticed in my kids' school. They went to a private school, but there were high expectations for the kids, and they lived up to them.
That's right.
But if you have low expectations, and you're making excuses for the kids, they will live down to them.
Somebody many years ago coined the phrase, the soft bigotry of low expectations. And I forgot who that was, but I got to tell you that I live it every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do.
So we're just about out of time.
Oh,
John, tell me what do you need from the community? You want them to know about Rockwood?
I want them to know about the Commons. The campus is there.
So can people rent that space?
People can call us up and they can look at renting spaces.
There's a huge grounds too.
We got to do a better job on our end of letting the community know what resources are there and the dates and those kinds of things. Because I have all kinds of wacky stuff going on.
I can see
I'm
that.
a wacky guy.
I can see that. Yes.
Our school is open for enrollment. We have space right now in all grades K through 6 because we have a bigger space now.
Great. So you can take some more kids.
More kids, and we're just super excited.
It's a public school, so there's no tuition.
No tuition. It's a great community.
I like Rockwood. I do.
I love Rockwood. I do. It's salt of the earth. I grew up in Portland, in the old Woodstock community, which when I grew up there was an Italian community. And so I'm used to ethnic kind of flavors.
Yeah,
we grew up in that generation when things were much more segregated.
Right, there are the communities.
And so I love coming into Rockwood, and I go to the rest. I don't eat any of this food, but I go to the flea markets and
yeah, you don't eat any food.
Yeah, I just don't do it. I'm not adventurous that way, you know.
But you check everything else out.
Community. I just love it.
It is. I agree, and that's part of what makes it a wonderful community is the diversity there. So
you know, that's. I think that the thing I would tell people, that I would have people know in our community, is that Rockwood is rising. We have a lot of great things happening, whether it be the efforts of the Rockwood Community Development Corporation, the new Justice Center that we have there, the Police Center. We are starting to form ourselves as a community, and it's a great place to come. It's going to be a great place to come shop soon. So come bring your kids, come go to church, come go to a circus, and
go to watch donkey basketball.
And join me. It'd be nice if you see me. I'm 7 feet tall, so if you see me, just come up and say hi.
Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
And do check out their website if you want to find out more about the Rockwood Preparatory Academy, the Rockwood Commons. There's a lot of fun going on there. I'm Monica Weitzel. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. And by the Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission advocates on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
MetroEast, the leader in indie film and community access training and television, brings you a 2-day masterclass like no other. Saturday, November 4th and Sunday, November 5th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. MetroEast offers unparalleled access to training that will take away the mystique of making a major motion picture project come to life. LA-based film industry pro Darren Scott, director-producer of over 20 feature films, will open his playbook on every step of the production process, from concept and financing to filming and post-production. It all happens at MetroEast in Gresham. For more information about the class and how to sign up, you can go to metroeast.org/directingmasterclass. Limited scholarships are available. Lunch is provided. Parking is free.